My mom told me she couldn't afford to help with my college tuition. A week later, she bought my sister a brand new BMW. I was sitting in the kitchen eating cereal when she dropped the bomb. Honey, I've been looking at our finances and I just can't swing helping with your college costs this year. She had this fake sympathetic look on her face while stirring her coffee. Maybe you could take out more loans or find a job that pays better than that grocery store. I was working 30 hours a week at Miller's Market, saving every penny for school. My hands were constantly cracked from handling frozen foods, and I smelled like deli meat most days. But I was proud of that money. Mom, I already have 2 jobs. I'm barely sleeping as it is. She just shrugged and said times were tough for everyone. The next Tuesday, I was restocking the produce section when I heard this familiar laugh outside. I looked through the window and almost dropped the box of apples I was holding. There was my 17-year-old sister Amber climbing out of a shiny red BMW, taking selfies against the hood like she was some Instagram influencer. My manager Dave noticed me staring. Nice car. Whose is that? I couldn't even answer. I just watched Amber walk into the store like she owned the place, her keys jingling in her hand with that fancy BMW keychain. When I got home, Amber was showing off the car to our neighbor kids. It's a 2024 model, she was saying, fully loaded with leather seats and heated steering wheel. The car still had temporary plates and that new car smell when she opened the door. I confronted Mom in the kitchen. So you can't afford my tuition, but you can buy Amber a $40,000 car? Mom got defensive immediately. That's different. Amber needs reliable transportation for her senior year activities. I reminded her that I'd been driving our old Honda Civic with the broken air conditioning and a muffler that sounded like a lawnmower. Besides, Mom added, Amber has been working so hard on her college applications. She deserves something nice. The kicker? Amber worked maybe 10 hours a week at our cousin's nail salon, painting her own nails half the time. That night, I called my dad. My parents divorced when I was 12, and Dad moved 2 states away. When I told him about the BMW situation, he was quiet for a long time. Then he said, pack your stuff, you're moving in with me. I'd never heard him sound so angry. 3 days later, Dad drove 8 hours to pick me up. While I was loading my belongings into his truck, Mom kept trying to explain herself. You're being dramatic. It's not about favoritism. But when Amber walked outside to move her BMW so Dad could back out easier, Mom's face said everything. Dad enrolled me in the local community college near his place. Turns out, he'd been setting aside money for years in an account Mom never knew about. I've been waiting for the right time, he said, showing me the bank statement. Didn't know it would be because of something like this. 6 months later, my phone buzzed with a text from Amber. Mom's making me get a job, says the car payment is too expensive. Then another message. Can you believe she wants me to work at that gross grocery store like you did? I screenshotted both messages and sent them to Dad. He just replied with a laughing emoji. The best part came last month when I graduated with my associate degree. Dad surprised me by flying in my grandmother, who I hadn't seen in 2 years. After the ceremony, Grandma pulled me aside. Your mother called asking if I could help with Amber's car payments. I told her I was too broke. Then she winked and handed me an envelope with $500 cash for my transfer to university. I never did find out if Mom realized how obvious her favoritism was, but Amber's BMW got repossessed 3 months later when Mom couldn't keep up with the payments.